All right, everybody, what's going on? We back with a live edition of the Leo G Show. I am Leo G, and podcasting is what I do. Gonna have fun with it today. It's a Labor Day. It's a long weekend, man. So I hope everybody enjoyed it and was rested, man, and had a good time, man. A lot to talk about here today. A lot going into. So we're gonna have a little fun. This is a relaxed day. So we're gonna be chill with it today. As always, man, I got my boys riding with me, man. And it looks like we might have some special guests pop in. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes as the show progresses today. But I got to pass it over to my co-host, man, the guys that hold me down. I'm gonna pass it over to my man down there in South Georgia today, my boy Banks. Banks, what's going on, man? How you doing, man?
How you feeling, Lil G? How you feeling, Derrico? What's going on?
Hey, man, it's a good day. It's an off day, but I'm feeling great. Awesome.
My man out in South Carolina, can't forget about him, man. My boy Derrico, man. What's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, Leo G? You know what we gonna do, brother? It's a good day to be outside, so I came outside today. I moved the show outside today, so hopefully it'll be all right.
Everybody ain't able to move the show outside, but I see you, dog. You're doing big things out there, man, in South Carolina. Shout out Derrico out there. Got the show outside doing the remote broadcast today. That's what's up, man. So look, fellas, man, a lot to talk about, a lot to get into, man, because this is that time of the year that we always love. So many sports intersect at this time of the year, so we'll get to talk about a few of them for this episode. Because hey, got an exciting stuff happening this weekend and exciting stuff coming up, moving here forward into the weekend coming up, man. So as always, you know, this is a show devoted to our fandom, to Atlanta sports and Georgia sports. So we're going to give it from a fan's perspective as always. So before we get this thing started, man, as we always do, man, we'll do a fit check, drink check, man, and we'll jump right on into this show, man. So I'm going to pass it over to my boy Derrico out there in South Carolina showing the guns, man. Tell everybody what, for those that are going to listen to the show later on the audio podcast, let everybody know what you're rocking, bro.
Hey, since I said I was coming outside, I went ahead and put on the Falcon jersey with the Army camouflage and the camouflage cap. So, you know, it's hate week. We got to be ready for war on Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know we coming for you.
That's right, man. Shout out to my boy P. What's up?
Oh, you want me to go what I'm drinking? Oh, you want to do that?
What you drinking, brother? What you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking a little 420 from Atlanta brewery, Sweetwater, that local brewer.
Okay.
And then since I'm outside today and we Falcons, and it's too early right now, so I'm drinking the vodka and the blackberry lemonade from Publix.
Okay, I see you, man. Shout out to you wearing your war ready to go on. We're gonna get into it in just a minute later on in the show because it is hate week. We are Falcons fans, and that's how it's going down. This is hate week, man. So we are ready, man. Shout out to my boy Pastor Troy, man. He's gonna be ready next week, man. Going against the team from Stinky Town, the Swamp, whatever you want to call them. That other team, and it doesn't matter. Throw the records out the window, throw whatever you want to throw out the window, man. We got to have this one. We're gonna talk about it a little later. Banks, let everybody know what you got going on, what you're drinking, if you want to let them know.
All right, well, I want to do first things first. Got to give a shout out to the world champs, Atlanta Braves, with the hat, and then I came back with the top with the world champions, Georgia Bulldogs, and you know I can't leave my professional team out with the Falcons right here. So I got the scarf going. So yeah, with my trusty glass of Braves right here. But since it's hate week, of those ain'ts, we're gonna screw them over. So I'm drinking a screwdriver. So toast.
Who that coming gunning? Who that coming gunning?
Oh,
That's right.
He don't went.
He went with the screwdriver today, man. It's not the brown liquor today, man. He got him a screwdriver over there, so it ain't brown liquor.
Hey,
look,
he ready.
Look, Derek, he didn't want me to tell you this, man, but somebody today was doing some shopping. I don't know if he's getting ready for next week, but somebody was doing some shopping. He had his personal shopper,
yeah?
You know, he's getting ready for next week. Look out, see that why? Look out, he getting ready. He getting ready for next week.
Let me say this.
Getting ready.
You already know the opening week I always come out clean, and that's the key word you need to know: clean. So when you see me on Sunday, you're gonna be like, "Damn, Banks clean." So I'm gonna keep that a surprise. So see y'all Sunday.
Okay. So you are coming this Sunday, right?
What do you think? Really?
I'm just saying.
And he almost sounded offended.
Very.
I know, right? Okay. I'm just saying, man. You know, just gotta make sure, dog. He coming. He said he coming, man. So I got representing from my dogs, man. Got to talk about the dogs here in a minute, man, because they still. Well, right now, Kirby said nobody cares, but at the moment, as fans, we can relish in the fact that we still the defending champions, and we'll talk about what they did on this past weekend as well. So I'm representing the dogs. I got this. I always find like unique stuff with the Falcons, man. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's shining. It's like a little metallic type situation going on with the Falcons cap. I got some Falcon swag coming. Derek, as you know, man, I'm trying to get my sneaker game real bad sneaker kicks that I'm coming with on this game. If it don't rain, if it rain, then I'm busting Dusty's on for the
No, go ahead and wear them. Show us.
Rain, I'm putting on the old busty Dusties. But if it's nice, bright, sunshiny day, I'm wearing the new kicks that I got, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be fire. So Banks, yeah, we're gonna step out clean to see this thing go down on next Sunday with the Falcons. It's that time of the year, man. So look, we're gonna get on into the show. Like I said, we might have a couple of surprise guests here momentarily. If you're watching us on live on Facebook or on YouTube, man, we appreciate it. We're gonna get
right drinking
on this level. Oh, I am drinking. So nothing. I am drinking. So Derek, so you and I, we've been talking. I got a few things in the fire when it comes to this bourbon game, man. So listen, today I'm just on the benchmark foolproof. I've been off some real deal stuff, man. So I have discussed it. We'll see what happens with what I got going on. So hopefully in the future, man, I'll be excited to either show you guys what I got or tell you guys I took an L. So bourbon game, just like the shoe game these days, huh? Derek?
Oh, I mean, well, I don't know about the shoe game. I already told you about that, but I do know about the bourbon game where it's a crapshoot, baby. If you lucky enough to hit, you better hit, because if you're looking at them allocated bottles, they going crazy prices right now. So I'm just happy that nice little stash that I ain't got to worry about that for a minute.
That's what's up. So, I guess Derek, I'm looking at my other streams. It looks like you're still up on my end and showing that you're offline, but I'm here as long as I can hear you. We're gonna keep moving. Banks, you got Derek loud and clear?
Absolutely, and I see him too.
Okay, well, this janky internet down here in South Fulton County. It is what it is. But listen, man, let's go ahead and jump right on into the show, man. Like I said, we're gonna get into it. So the first things first, man. Last show we kind of left off where we talked East Alabama. Well, no, yeah, well. So we're gonna jump right on into it, man. Let's talk about all the teams' expectations, where we are, what we thought was going to happen, especially for those teams wrapping it up here, moving toward the end of the season. About before the season started. So we'll get into the Falcons a little later, but the first team we want to talk about today is going to be those Atlanta Braves and what we're seeing now. So last time, I think, Banks, we talked about these Atlanta Braves. They were about 3.5, but a lot has transpired between the last show we've had and today. And this is very exciting because, Banks, I think you called this. I think you said that the Braves were going to be able to kind of walk these Mets down. And at this point, we are now one game back of those New York Mets, and the Braves have been playing excellent. They have been playing consistent, what we want to see of the defending world champions. And one of the things that we want the pennant. We don't want to, do this wild card thing, man. We want to actually take this pennant and put it up in Truist Park. And we thought that the Mets didn't have enough heart to carry this on through. They've been on time, but it looks like now the rubber has now met the road, and it's now a chase. Banks, can these boys hold on? Think these Braves? You called it. You said the Braves was gonna walk them down. Now can the Braves do a Nick Cannon and finish?
Listen here, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. It is on. What they say, pressure bust pipes. Listen, the Mets feel it. They see us. They see us in the rearview mirror. They feel like they have to win every single game. I mean, they just put an article out in the Long Island Press about not Atlanta's right here waiting on you. So they feel it. They see us. They took, was it 4 out of 5 when they was we played them that first series with 5-game series, and they felt good about themselves. They was up 7 games, turned around and came back and played here at Truist Park, took 3 out of 4 from them, and then we just went on a tear. Now they're looking back at the standings. One game. We play them 3 more times at Truist. Like you said, rubber hits the road. No mistakes. This is a pennant race, and let's see who finished out on top. I like to, honestly, I know the Braves. They've been there before. They well tested. Mets, they in position. When the last time you've seen Mets in first place in September? And it's been a long time. So let's see how they carry out with, being the top dog.
Man, absolutely. Like I said, man, the Braves are built for this. Like you said, they've been in a lot. That's one thing I got to say about the Braves. Even here recently, man, they've been in a lot of positions to say, hey, we need to go out and get it done. Obviously, they're the world champs for a reason. And the Mets have not, like you said, Banks, been in this position quite a few times. So, man, I don't know. They might crumble. One of the things I want to, we'll get back to that in just a minute. I'm going to kick it over to Derrico. Derrico, how do you Banks call this? Braves are now walk down to a game right behind the Mets. We're knocking on the door. How do you feel about the Braves and what they've done thus far?
I mean, it was just bound to happen. I mean, the Mets are notorious for imploding, especially when you got people calling the division back in late May when they were up like 10 games. And ever since that stage, we've been on a tear. And that's when we brought them young guns up too, starting with Mr. Harris. We appreciate you guys up in New York always finding a way to give us a little extra boost to make y'all feel like Trae Young make y'all feel free in y'all head. So Atlanta is always going to stay rent-free in New York media, fans, whoever else up there head, because that's just what we do. We don't like y'all. Y'all don't like us. That makes it good for us. But the Braves, telling you right now, they may end up getting this division after we play them in that 3-game set, sweep them, and then win the division by 3 games.
That's obviously that's what we want to do, man. Put foot to butt, y'all. And it's funny to say that, Derrico. Those love relationships when it comes to those teams up north in the Northeast. Well, I think baseball, basketball, it's always that type of deal. And football, I guess I could say professional football as well. Football, because actually the Northeast has nothing going on when it comes to college football. But yes, rivalry when it comes to the Mets and the Braves, man. Hey, every time we step up, we want to do that to them, and for them to carry this that long, we always make the doesn't count until you get over that hill, man. If the Mets carry this thing, Banks. If the Mets carry this thing all the way till we get right here at the end and the Braves just snatch it away, man, how would that feel, man? Because we all this bad. Regular season doesn't count. I mean, obviously the Mets will be trying to push for postseason, even if the Braves snatch the pennant away from them. But how crazy would that be if we get right here toward the end and the Braves just snatch it right out of their mouth, man?
First of all, shout out to Derek Carr. I love the Trae Young reference. Spot on. How would I feel about if they snatched the pennant at the last minute? I'm kind of expecting it. That's kind of how I envision it. Like, we're going to get all the way to the last week of the season. They're going to need the Marlins to beat us, and we're going to sweep the Marlins, and they're going to be looking like an egg on their face because they lost the division by half a game. So, I look at it like it's poetic justice between Braves and Mets, because we always, like, somehow, some way, we're a thorn in their side. They can't stand us because we always keep a good farm team, and how are they always this good, and they just don't understand why. I'm like, well, hey, sometimes you got it. You just got it, bro. Don't hate on it. I mean, that's just what it is. We supposed to beat you. It's just how the Braves own the Mets ever since Chipper Jones. It's just how we roll. I have to remind everybody that Chipper Jones named his son, was it Shea? Right after Shea Stadium. So I would like to keep rubbing that into Mets fans to let you know that, his namesake is because of you guys, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. So Mets fans, yeah, you need to be worried, man, because we right on your heels, man. We coming gunning. And I think it's safe to say that most people in New York are Yankees fans, Stankies fans, or whatever anyway, right? Who's a fan of the Mets? Are there any Mets fans? Like, real talk. I don't.
Yeah, they there. Trust me, they there.
The New York Metropolitans. Okay, all right. Hey, look, Derek Cole, man. How do you feel? So listen, we are clicking right at the right moment here, man. I feel good. Ozzy's coming back off of injury, man. He's at assignment over in Gwinnett. Shout out Ozzy Osby. Albies I've been drinking. And the Stripers out there in Gwinnett. He's on assignment, I think, making his way back. I know a lot of people said it was going to get with Grissom that they brought up. And also, just trying to figure out where everybody was going to fit or align, man, once Ozzy got back, man. So it sounds like this is a good problem to have, right? Players that have been playing very, very well, moving into the postseason, like, and being able to have some depth. We talk about a lot of times in sports having depth. As fans, we want to have a deep team, right? You know what I'm saying? No matter what, if we're in the season, we want to make sure, hey, the guy who's coming in is just as good as the guy who's starting. So how do you feel about Ozzy, man? I don't know where we are with Soroka and his rehab assignment, and coming back and getting back with the team as well. How do you feel about
talking about me? Yeah, I feel good about it. You stole my thunder with the Mike Soroka. He is on assignment. It's good where he is now. Ozzy, wow. I mean, he's doing pretty good for the injury that he had. And I forget the first base, the coach for the first base. He's doing work right now as we speak with Grissom. He's in left field doing pop-ups, doing throwing drills from the left field side and everything. And it's like, hey, we're gonna keep. He's clutch. I mean, how many times we've seen his bat with 2 outs, 2 strikes and 2 outs, and he just come out with a double. It's just. We need that. We need that going down the stretch. Even Mr. Harris, the new pitchers that we got, we got Iglesias. No one's really talking about Odorizzi. We brought him in. So we got, I call it Anthopoulos, man. He just do his magic. It don't look like nothing at first, but then coming to postseason, makes sense. So
he lighting.
We
Shout
have
out
a great situation we in right now,
man, dude. So the question I was about to throw over here to Derrico was, man, like, listen, Alex Anthopoulos, man, has been piece in getting this team together, man. Right? I mean, obviously, we won the World Series last year. The moves he made at the trade deadline just happened to push us over the hump, I think. And so now we're actually seeing the benefits, like you said, Banks, of this farm set and guys that we're bringing up with the Michael Harrises and the Grissoms. Derek O, how clutch has Anthop? We are very critical here in Atlanta of our GMs and our technical directors and our presidents, evaluating talent. But I think right now, if you really wanted to look at the landscape of Atlanta professional sports, Alex Anthopoulos is at the top. He's at the pinnacle of where you want to be with getting this thing over. Last year, like I said, it was bringing in people at the trade deadline, people that we've actually brought up and we brought into this organization, man, to see for a long time to come, man. How cool is that to see a GM do this?
Well, first of all, he's general manager in the city of Atlanta or Marietta, whichever one to call it. But I'm just saying, yes, at this point, he is probably the only one that's been hitting consistently. He's hitting 500. If you know about baseball, if you can hit 500, definitely stroking that bat. So I'm giving Double A all the props. Putting this team together, making the right moves, you know what I'm saying? Bringing in people at the right time. The only problem I'm going to have is some of these contracts, but, that's neither here nor there. That's his job to do what he got to do, so that still would be good on him that he can actually bring in and keep these guys at the amount of money that he's keeping them for and the of time that he's keeping them for. So just shout out for Double A, man. He can go anywhere in Atlanta and not have to pay for nothing. That's including Magic.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Double A, man. He's doing this thing, man. Getting these Braves right, man. And I think, all of us remember this is reminiscent of the 90s and the Braves. I don't know, man. The pitching has been great, man. You talk about Strider, you talk about Max Fried. This, like I said, very reminiscent of the 90s. A lot of young talent, like you said, Derek Cole. Yeah, maybe off a little bit on some of these contracts, man, but these guys are here right now for the time being, and it looks like we have a bright future moving forward, man. And they're gonna give up that like hell, man, especially defending this championship, man. And like Banks called it, man. I gotta give Banks some credit, man, because these dudes, hey, they coming in, man. They come in and we didn't expect we didn't know how this was gonna play out, man. But they're walking them down, man. Banks called it. Hey, they're gonna walk them down, and hopefully here in the next couple of days we're gonna pass them or snatch it right out of their mouth. When they have to come, I think they come back here for a 3-game series in a few weeks here, moving closer toward the end of the season. So, man, it would be crazy to snatch it right out of their mouths at Truist Park, wouldn't it, fellas? That would be crazy, right? That'd be insane.
Be more of a poetic if we do it on the 3rd game where they can't do anything about it the following the next day. So if we do it that 3rd game, and I picture it as like the most devastating loss that they can even have, like a walk-off or something, and they look in the standings, they are half game back, and they need Miami to beat us, and you know how that's going to go, fellas. We just came off a broom beating of the fish as we speak. So yeah, go ahead and let's go ahead and set that scenario up so we can kind of crush their soul going into that postseason. So,
hey man, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. I mean, like I said, right now we know we're postseason, man. But like I said, we want the pendant. We want to go ahead and hang that up at Truist Park, up there in Marietta, Northwest Atlanta, wherever you want to call Truist Park. But yeah. Derek Cole, I think that's what we want to do. We want to put that pendant up. We know we're going to postseason, but we want to pin that. We want to put that pendant. We want to put that pendant right up there.
That's right. We don't want to put, like I got to make a little reference of that soccer team up there. We don't want to put no little baby banners up there. We want to put some real banners up there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Leo, we don't want no yellow banners. We want red banners, and you know what that means. So if you go Truist enough, you know what red means, and you know what yellow means. We want the red banners. Let's go.
That's right. and that's a great thing, man, with the expectation of this city and this fan base, is that that's what we want, that's what we expect. And I think that the Braves know, that's what we trying to do, man. So look, we look forward to talk. So guys, we're gonna talk about this here in the upcoming weeks, man, and hopefully I'm hoping we up 3 games on the Mets before we get to that series. And if not, if we get to that series, like Banks said, and it's poetic justice that we snatch it right there, game 3, and there's nothing that they can do about it, so be it, man. So that's what's up, what's going on with the Braves right now, man. It is what it is, man. So listen, fellas, we're going to jump right on into it. We're going to continue to roll with the show, man, and talk about something that started up this weekend, man. And I know Derek was very, very excited about, because he kept telling me it's football season. It's football season. It's football season. He could not wait. So yes, football season is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. College football. Well, it actually started. We had some games last week. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Purdue's and Hawaii's and all those guys that played on last week. But this weekend, recording on Labor Day, this is when everything kind of jumped off, man. Chick-fil-A kickoff. We had the kickoff down in New Orleans that we'll talk about there in just a minute. What a crazy game that was last night. But real talk, man, we're going to get into a little college football. Specifically, we're going to talk about the defending national UGA. And hopefully here in just a moment, we'll have a special guest here that'll join us to talk about the Bulldogs and what we saw from them on this past weekend. But before we talk about the Bulldogs, guys, let's talk about this weekend of college football in general. I know you had a chance to go to the Kickoff Classic. How was it down there? How was the atmosphere at Mercedes-Benz, man, going down there to see the Bulldogs as they took on the Oregon Ducks?
I mean, like, awesome. I mean, it was one of those times where you be like, oh, okay. So this is how real college football looks. Not like that team across the street over there, real college football team that's coming in the bins and going up against a potential supposedly number 11 team. So I think the atmosphere was awesome. The weather was cooperating. The spirits were flowing. The teams were joining back and forth. You even saw a couple of fisticuffs up in there. I say, well, golly, Oregon done came up here. Then they took 2 L's. We took an L all the way from Oregon on the flight in the game, and then took L's in the stadium because they wanted to try some of these country boys down here in the South. Didn't work out too well.
It didn't work out too well for them boys.
And speaking of that, I had my guy that was with me. Well, I was with him. My bad. Let me rephrase that.
We was together.
I was with him. I was riding Coach I's coattail of this weekend.
All right,
Coach I.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a guest to the Leo G Show, man. Coach I. We welcome you to the Leo G Show, man, to talk some college football, man. Derek O has spoken highly of you. You got your own podcast going on, man. Welcome to the Leo G Show, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, feeling good, man. Feeling good, man. Derek O had a good weekend, man. We had a good weekend.
I know if you hang out with Derek O, man, yeah, he gonna make sure you have a good weekend, man. So that's it is what it is, man. So we gonna jump into this, man, to talk about this game, man, as he brought you in, man. Starting off, Coach I, I'm gonna bring it to you first here, man. How did you enjoy? I mean, outside of the Georgia game, this weekend of college football, man, how did you enjoy it, man? College football back. I think this year was the first year, man, that it kind of felt like college football, right? I mean, coming off the heels of the pandemic in 2020, now it's back. It's like, okay, we back. I mean, last year we did it, but now it's like, okay, it's full throttle. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Derek will tell you, man, like I like NFL, man, but he know I'm all the way college football, and the fall is where I live, dog. Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching week 0. I was all into the I was watching Nebraska and Northwestern like they was playing for the CFP. So I was happy this weekend, man. We had some good college football this weekend, man. He started out with Pitt, West Virginia in the backyard brawl. They hadn't gotten to play in 11 seasons because conference realignment. You know what I'm saying? Same thing about to be happening, you know, with Oklahoma, Texas coming to the SEC and Pac-12 teams traveling to the Big Ten, all that stuff. But you miss out on some of those rivalries, man, when you start splitting up conferences, and then you miss out on games like the West Virginia Pitt game, and then they followed that up with Purdue and Penn State was a barn burner. I was like, listen, I'm ready to go. So, and then you got Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion at Old Dominion. First of all, why are we playing at Old Dominion? That's what I want to ask Virginia Tech's administration. Why is that game not in Blacksburg? But going into Saturday, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah. And then you had Virginia Tech got in their feelings after they took that L.
Yeah, for sure. You know how it is. You know, you done roll in the Old Dominion, thought you was gonna roll in there and wear them out, and they wore you out. And now you in your feelings. Don't be mad, bro. You paid them the money. Take the L.
Take the L, absolutely. And that's the beauty of college football here as of now, man. There's a lot of parity. We see a lot of those teams that we saw, 15, 20 years ago, like you said, Coach I, man, you getting the check. Okay, we know we're going to be that whooping boy, man. But listen, it's not like that anymore, man. Transfer portal, a lot of things have changed now in college football, man. So, yeah, we did see some teams hanging with some top tier teams, and I enjoyed it, man. I actually loved it. Appalachian State, who, about 6 or 7 years ago, they kind of started that whole thing when they went up to the big house and put one on Michigan. They had a barn burner with North Carolina up there in Boone, which, by the way, Coach North Carolina went to Boone to play App State. So
they did, dog. And listen, my nephew played at Boone, man, a couple years ago, and I'm telling you, when I saw that on the schedule, I said that is not a good game for North Carolina. Them people take football serious in Boone, man. I was like, why would you do that? First of all, why are you scheduling App State as an out of conference? Like, don't do that. Like, not unless you're trying to get an L. Like, I mean, because App State they about that smoke. They don't care who it is. They
giant killers
play. Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, as a college football fan, hey, I like it. I picked App State in the points.
Hey, man, like I said, it's real exciting weekend. Like you said, it was week 0 last week, man, and now we into the thick of it, man. Back to full-fledged college football, man. Pandemic kind of held us down, but now we're back into it. Banks, I'm going to kick it over to you, brother, man. Full slate of college football this weekend, and it really didn't disappoint, man. Before we get to talking about UGA, man, how did you feel about the slate of games this weekend?
Ooh, boy, I was planted on my couch and I was enjoying every minute of it. I love college football to the point where I didn't realize I loved it that much when I realized from 12 to almost freaking 8 o'clock in the night, I didn't move. Like, I'm like, why am I still in the house watching football? That's compared to the NFLs on Sundays. Like, I get to watch my team and I'm good. I don't want to see no more football. Saturday, I can watch, like you said, Old Dominion. I can watch Rutgers, okay, and I'm good. Like, I would sit there and watch it all 4 quarters. So it's something. College football does something for me, and it's big. It's huge.
Man, fellas, yeah. So it's crazy, man, right? So I got up Saturday morning and I had plans, but then Derrico was like, "Oh, I'm rolling down to Mercedes-Benz." So I said, "Okay, well, hey, fine, roll on down to Mercedes-Benz, dog. Ain't no thing. I'm gonna park it right in the basement, right in the media room, and we're gonna do this all day, man." So we fired that thing up, man. We went from, I think the first game I turned on was Michigan, Colorado State. And listen, fellas, like Banks, you just said, man, I literally watched it all the way through, got to the end of that Notre Dame Ohio State game, and I was like, I'm not done. It's something else still on. I may end up flipping to Sacramento State and Utah Tech. That's how buzzed I was, man, watching college football, man. We did it all day on Saturday and then flipped around and did it yesterday. There were plenty of games on yesterday as well. Go ahead, Banks.
And not to mention yesterday, I watched also the Red Tail Classic, the
Tuskegee and Fort Valley State.
And
shout out Fort Valley State, man. My wife's alumni.
Yet again.
Banks. So look, I had a house divided over here, man. Mom is alumni of Tuskegee. My wife is alumni of Fort Valley State. So I'm sitting here. I can't say nothing. I just got to I had to sit here and be quiet, man. So listen, hey, great slate of college football. Let's get into what we were going to talk about here, man. And that's Georgia and Oregon. Coach I and Derrico happen to actually be a part of and actually witness down at Mercedes-Benz. So check this out, guys. I'm going to come over to you, Derrico, first, and we'll just get a round table as to how you guys felt about it going in. But, man, I guess you could say this game was kind of hyped up, man. Georgia coming off, defending national champions, kickoff classic. Oregon was a ranked team. of course, obviously, the defense coordinator from Georgia going up to Oregon, man, as the new head coach there. This game just got away fast, Derrico, from Oregon. I don't know if they were ready for it or not, but this game got away fast. I know a lot of people thought that Oregon was going to come in and give up and put up a fight. But like literally, man, I think they took a couple of punches and they were like, damn, we didn't know it was going to be like this.
It was outside with us in the BMW tent where they had all inclusive, because I can tell you they did not show up at all. I mean, at all. And I want to give a favorite former SEC quarterback. Bo, you are a godsend for the SEC, baby. We appreciate you. You are the gift that keeps on giving. And you gave it up a couple of times on Saturday. Thank you. But back to the game. The game was, the atmosphere, like I was saying, was excellent. And I can't say nothing about 13. I can't say nothing about 13. Stetson, the fourth, Bennett played one hell of a game. Todd Monken, you get the dog chain of the week. I just made a hell of an offensive game on Saturday.
Facts.
My God, man. Stetson Bennett has now, I guess, shown us, you know, Kirby's smart. And Banks, I'll get to you in just a minute. You ain't got to raise your hand. This ain't the second grade, dog. We come. Is that a number one or you raising your hand? Which one is it? I'm sorry.
I was really
That was a church finger.
I wanted to say something on that before I forgot. I mean, no, it's not a church finger, but this was something that I wanted to say what Derrico said about the dog chain. First of all, that could be a segment on this show about every week when we talk about the Bulldogs. It's who gets the dog chain. And I like that, Derrico, because that fits.
That fits, man. The dog chain, man. So Banks, that's gonna be you on the show, man. We're gonna give our dog chain out, man, every week as Georgia go through for the season, man. That should fit for the show, man. So listen, man, 49-3. This was not even close. Like I said, man, I think, you know, it was like 28-3 going into halftime, man. That damn score makes me itch though. But so
I don't know what just happened, but as soon as you said that, my whole body just up inside, like, ooh, I just can't stand to hear that.
Hold on, let me say this: when you saw the score 28-3, ESPN tried to be petty and said, "Well, it's 28-3 in that same stadium from a same team in Georgia." First of all, it's the same team. Whole nother coach, whole nother quarterback, and they scored right there, right after halftime, and it shut all that up. So
shut it all down, man. Shut it all down. 49-3 is the final. Like I said, I think nobody. I mean, and real talk, I think UGA did. Kirby did. They pulled their foot off the gas. I really do think that, Coach. I'm gonna bring it over to you, man. Talk about this throttling. First and foremost, man. This is, you know, I think that going into the Kirby really prepared these guys to go into this season. I know Kirby did not want these guys to get full of themselves and think that, hey, we're the national champions. Going into spring ball, Kirby made it clear. It was two things that Kirby wanted to do. The first thing was he made it clear to this team that nobody cares about what you did last year. Nobody cares about what you did last year. This is a new season, and we're going to go into this new season, and we're going to take it each game. And I think that listening to the coaches and the players, that they're focused on that. The second thing is that Kirby did, going all the way back to here in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago before the season started in SEC Media Days, was said that the University of Georgia will not be hunted. Meaning that we all know what that means, that once you get, you know, to top billing status, that everybody comes for you every week. Everybody says, okay, this is the champion, and we want to put this shiny trophy in our case if we can take them down. But Kirby made it clear that the University of Georgia would not be hunted. Coach, how do you feel about how Kirby's outlook is going into this game against Oregon, and just for the whole season for that matter? How do you feel about what?
I think he's doing a good job, and I think he has the credibility because he's been through. I mean, everybody knows, you know, even though he's 7 years removed now, 7 seasons removed from Alabama, everybody knows he went, through some championships there, and how he's seen some of them teams, games here and there get lackadaisical. And so I think it's good coming from a credited person like that. And I think Saturday, all that did was it showed that Kirby does have this team focus. Like you said, I do think they pulled off the gas because it was Dan Lanning. Had it been somebody Kirby don't like, he might have scored a couple more. But he liked Dan Lanning, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a little bit more hype on the game than it should have been because of Dan Lanning. I think Oregon's a good team, but they got a lot of hype and a lot of, hey, they can go in there and do this because of Dan Lanning. But he got the secrets and all that. Kirby shut all that down. I mean, if you watch the post-game presser, he was like, come on, Dan knows we got better players. Like, it's just that simple. But I think Kirby got these guys focused, man. That's what I actually was probably more happy about Saturday is like, they didn't come out and, first game, a whole bunch of miscues, confusion. They was focused from like play number one from the kickoff. You know what I'm saying? I think we tackled them on like the 15 on the first on the opening kickoff. And so I'm like, Kirby got them where they need to be, man. And that's what we want to be. We want to be focused. Even though I think we number one now. But I think Kirby does a good job letting them know nobody cares, because even that's what their offseason workout shirts say. Nobody cares, because nobody does care. A lot of people still don't care that we won the championship. So, hey, go out and prove them wrong again.
Absolutely, man.
Let me interrupt. I'm sorry. You say we're number one? Did the polls come out already?
Well, I think some of the 247, those type, not the AP, the official AP poll, I don't think they'll come out till Tuesday, but I think they said they all expect Georgia to be number one.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, and as well as they should be, man. As well as they should be. We
about what Ohio State did, and or Alabama played what Utah
State.
Volusia State,
junior college.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on, man. I think, me personally, I think it was a bit disrespectful. But like you said, man, going back, Coach, nobody cares. And we all talk about college football, and we know how this is. It's the sexiest thing. You know what I'm saying? Alabama, of course, obviously Nick Saban did what he needed to do to say what he needed to say to get Alabama back up in the front, right? Alabama was kind of reloading, that was an off year for Alabama, but now we've gotten everybody back. And another thing too with Alabama and Nick Saban, man, this is going to be real interesting this year. I don't want to say he's put his foot in his mouth, but he's made some statements over there, and I don't want to get too far off in the weeds talking about Alabama, but he's done a little whining. You haven't really heard Nick Saban do any whining, but now with the NILs and now that everything's kind of evened out, he threw some shots over at Jimbo at Texas A&M. So it's gonna be a weird situation with Alabama, man, as this season continues to progress. I'm gonna be this season is gonna be really, really crazy. So look, I don't want to get go ahead, Derek.
You already know what you just did now.
Really, really quickly, man. Take a shot, man. Shit, take.
So why you doing that? If Saban has to stoop to the level of going after Jackson State University, he has really, really gone off the deep end as his focus on what's supposed to be going on. That's how much of a stronghold college football, to the point now he has to get mad at JSU because they're recruiting players and thinking that they're buying players. This is absolutely insane to me.
I don't want to go too far off script there, Cole, but you're absolutely right, man. Saban is starting to whine. Like I said, things have started to change. And yes, by him even going after somebody like Jackson State just shows you how, man, this is kind of maybe getting under his skin a little bit. I don't know, man. But listen, I want to talk a little bit more about this UGA game and them moving forward and a couple other things past weekend in college football. So, Coach, I want to bring it back over to you. Stetson Bennett, man. We all kind of laughed and chuckled about Stetson Bennett on last year, man. And I think all of us, Derek Cole, Banks, and myself included, was like, what is the love affair with Stetson Bennett? When Georgia had these 5-star quarterbacks there last year with this magical season that they had, it's like, I think we had injury first of the season against Clemson. Stetson comes in, man, and Kirby holds on to him for the rest of the season. And obviously, we win a national championship. Fast forward to Saturday against Oregon, right? Mm-hmm. 6-year walk-on quarterback Stetson Bennett looks like, man, he looked like a killer out there, man. 5'11",
Facts,
210-pound kid out there against Oregon, man, on the big stage. Looked like a complete killer. Did we miss the mark? Did us casual fans, I guess, at some point miss the mark with Stetson Bennett? What did Kirby see that we didn't see in Stetson?
Well, I don't think we as fans missed the mark. I mean, because to our credit, Kirby even told Stetson he wasn't going to be in the running for a quarterback as quick as last year. Last year, it's like now, Carson Beck's number 2. In 2020, he told Stetson, that's not what you're here for. You're not one of the top 3 guys we're looking at. That's not what you're here to run the scout team. That's what he told Stetson. So I think what it is, man, you seen Stetson grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like Stetson, the love affair began, though, to your question, it began in 2017 on our national championship run when he had to impersonate Baker Mayfield in practice. And according to the players now, he was like off the chains. Like they couldn't do nothing with him. It was how they got ready for Baker Mayfield. So I think from then on, everybody just kind of, gravitated to Stetson. And one thing as a quarterback, man, you got to have the locker room. I don't care how good you are. If you don't have the locker room, it don't matter because them dudes won't play for you. And at this point, Stetson got the locker room, man. And Saturday he came out there and he was carving Oregon up like his name was Bryce Young, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, it was exciting to see, man, Stetson Bennett getting his first solidified, push as a starter from the beginning of the season, man, going into it, man. So listen, before we close this segment out, man, I'm gonna pass it over to Banks and Derrico, man, and also, Coach, I bring it back to you. We're gonna talk about a couple other things as well. Banks, moving forward here with Georgia after you saw them totally annihilate Oregon, man, how comfortable do you feel about them getting back to college football playoffs, man, and defending this national title after what you saw against them on Saturday? And I mean, of course, it's too early to tell. It's one game. But from your eye test, how do you feel?
Well, I always look at it like this. You're the champion until you're not. And I feel like going forward, they should have an expectation to defend what's theirs. I can't sit there and say after, say what I saw with Oregon, that they're going to fall off somewhere. I think that watching Stetson Bennett, that's probably the best game I ever seen him play as a Georgia Bulldog. Like, okay, you guys agree with that? I mean, I've never seen him just, it's the confidence for me. It was the something in him that I'd never seen before. And he was just doing it with no, I mean, it was just effortless. And I stood standing up in my living room watching the game. I did not sit down at one time. But the fact that every other play was a big play. It was something going on. If you turned your head, you missed something. Georgia in the red zone. Georgia, it was like what, the first 7 possessions, they were all touchdowns or something like that. Something crazy. Mm-hmm. We didn't punt the ball till like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, I thought that was kind of hilarious to me. But when you talk about Stetson Bennett and you look and you listen to what the people are saying about him, he ain't play nobody. But I'm like, well, he needs to play. He can't play Alabama every week. And he's beating him too. He's a champion. So what does he have to do to prove to get back to that mountaintop? And for your question, Leo, yes, I do expect them to be there in the playoffs.
All right, man. Hey, I'm right there with you, brother. I expect them to be right there competing. To echo all of you guys, man, they didn't miss the mark, man. Kirby had them ready. They came out and torched Oregon, did what they were supposed to do, didn't let Oregon hang around. Say, hey, look, we are better, and this is what we're going to do. Derek, I'm going to pass it to you before we change the topic here in just a moment.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Gerald Gooseby watching on Facebook. That's my homeboy. What up, G? Classmate, fellow Virgo, got us a state of law, all that stuff. He just all that good stuff. So back to that. The point is, yes, there's without a questionable doubt in my mind that this team, after that win on Saturday, has a different mindset. I mean, it would have been absolutely easy for Georgia to say, you know what, we're good. You know what I'm saying? We lost our whole defense almost last year. We're good with that. But no, these guys saying, "Hey, I want to be the next one. I want to be the next one to get drafted in the top 1, 5, 10, whatever." That mindset is like different, and Kirby got these guys on a different mental level. And I think it all started. It started late, but I think it started with just one simple quote, and it was like a year ago. I think it was when Kirby just flat out said, "You're either elite or you're not," and that kind of puts you in a mindset that's saying, "Well, dang, I thought I was a 5-star recruit, but my coach still telling me I still got some ways to go." So I think Kirby just instilling a toughness and hardness in them guys, and I like it.
Hey man, once you get to college, man, that like somebody told me a long time ago, man, you know, all that star stuff go out the window when you set foot on the college campus, man. 5-star, 4-star, 2-star, all that stuff. I almost cut. That goes out of the window. Once you step foot on that college campus, man, you got to earn everything. Everything, man. Because this guy, I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I got to college, man, and I saw guys walking on are what they call hungry, belly to back hungry. So what you did in high school don't matter no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out there and prove it, Derek O. So like you just said, man, Kirby has made them understand, hey, this is what it takes. This is what we're going to do. We're going to compete, and you got to have that mentality and stay hungry, belly to back hungry all the time, man. So that's what I like out of Kirby, man. I think we all concur, man, that Kirby he's turned a new leaf. Not only the team has turned a new leaf, but Kirby and his coaching has turned another leaf as far as preparing them and getting them ready and making them that program to put them on that pedestal to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we are the program, and this is where you want to be, and we're not going to be knocked off. Banks, really quickly as we move, you can take your shot.
Well, I was just going to piggyback what you were saying about Kirby. They interviewed him after the game. You know, the final score was 49-3. And Kirby said he's not satisfied with what the defense played. I'm like, Kirby, you only gave up 3 points. And that 3 points, my ad was help from the ref. Where it was, with that BS flag that they gave Oregon. So could have been 49-0. But, he wasn't happy. But I understand where he was coming from with the third down, and we were still giving up first downs. I love it. He don't want nothing. He, forget we don't want you in your end zone. We don't want you to get 10 yards. We don't want you to convert them 10 yards. Like, I love that philosophy and that mindset.
Part of that does come from coaching under a Nick Saban. Part of that mindset and seeing behind the curtain, sitting right there with Nick Saban and how he is, and how he wants more and his mentality. I think some of that comes from Nick Saban. But look, guys, because I've got to press, we're running for time. And Coach, I appreciate you coming on, man. Hopefully we'll bring you back. Obviously, man, I'll give you a quick shout out in just a minute to promo all your stuff. But I want to get you guys' take on, like I said, we all said it was a great first real week of college football. Got a game on tonight. Is it tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Georgia Tech and Clemson comes on tonight, man. They're down at Mercedes-Benz as well. I guess I'm going to fire that up. But, fellas, before we leave, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about, I think, maybe the game of the weekend. It might be the game of the whole season, man, depending on how you look at things, man. FSU, LSU last night, man. This was like the game of game. I thought the Notre Dame Ohio State game got a little boring. I was like, it was a slugfest, and then apparently coming out second half, Ohio State said, you know what, we make some adjustments, man, and they shut Notre Dame down. But this LSU Florida State game was absolutely insane. I mean, I'm gonna bring it over to Derek O before I take the round table and we close it out, because I know he has close ties to Florida State. I know he liked them Seminoles down there, man. Man, what a game, dude. This was absolutely insane, especially the fourth quarter of this game, man. Man, dude. Like, is this now a early candidate for game of the year?
I mean, just looking at the Twitter comments, the last 5 minutes of this game was just bonkers. I mean, we don't even have to talk about the other 37 or whatever it is. The last 5 minutes of that game set the tone for what LSU is going to be and what FSU is going to be. And I hope it's going to be also a tone setter for how Norvell looks at his coaching and how he can improve from the decisions that he made in that game. But take nothing away from that team. I take nothing away from them guys. I was telling Coach Al, he the only one that he told me, I'm gonna go ahead and steal your thunder. You want to do it.
You got it. You got it.
He told me, the FSU fan too, that LSU was gonna win. And I told him, based on what I saw in that first game against Duquesne, that defensive front just didn't have nothing in the tank to get past the line of scrimmage. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they was straight up just playing possum against Duquesne, but that defensive line that showed up last night, was nothing compared to that defensive line that played against Duquesne.
Played against Dookie. Banks, thoughts on the FSU LSU game, man, before we close this out, Banks.
I've never in my life heard Nick from a marching band, from Florida State's marching band. They played it,
had it on cue.
First down.
Talking
But
outside of your neck.
it was a jab at LSU, and if you part of the marching band world, that was classic and very petty, and I loved it. I love what Florida State did, and LSU had no rebuttal. They just sat there and took it. And as for the game, it fit. It was the right. It's like Florida State had a mission. They said, we're not leaving out of here without this victory. Now, granted, the way it happened, you know, to quote what you said, Derek Cole, last night, the ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. I mean, if you're supposed to win, you're supposed to win. And you know, I know that was a gut punch for LSU, but that was for the ages.
The pageantry of college football, man. Like you said, Banks, man. All of that, man. The fans, the bands, everything, man. I think this was the first year, man. I finally got those butterflies in the stomach, man, watching the game last night as it went. You know, we saw how it all ended, LSU driving the field, getting down there, doing their thing, and just how it ended all. You know, that's what college football is all about, man. I think we've been missing it, man. The pandemic kind of put us behind a little bit. Coach your thoughts on this LSU-FSU game, man. And before we close this segment out, man, let everybody know where they can find you, man, and let everybody know what you got going on.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. So Derek mentioned it, man. Listen, I had to convince him that one of his teams would win. Man, I'm telling you, what a lot of these programs did this all season is watch recruiting. They was like, oh, this team recruiting well, this team recruiting well, this team recruiting well. Listen, man, as a former coach, man, you can't just go in, change the whole culture scheme, and then everything work from day one. I don't care who you playing day one. Brian Kelly's philosophy is not what LSU is used to. Brian Kelly's more of a pro style. He wants to pound it and ground it into that old school LSU back.
But Coach he tried with the accent. He didn't try to.
Listen, first of all, you are who you are. Stop trying to be somebody else. They already taken. That was his first mistake. And
that was
that was a red flag. And then FSU, I know it was just Duquesne, but ain't nothing like refs. I know a lot of these colleges have referees at practice, but the players still know at practice there's nothing to really lose. You know what I'm saying? So when they played Duquesne, that gave them a real live look at what they had. And at some point, you realize it's Duquesne. I don't really have to go 110%. I'm saving some of that for them boys from Baton Rouge. And last night it showed, dog. I mean, Florida State wanted it more. That's just what
they absolutely did.
So I thought it was a great game. And you're right. It might be a candidate for game of the year, considering I don't know if anybody gave chance to be real with you, especially being in the dome down there.
Absolutely. That was like almost should have been like a home field advantage for LSU, but there was a lot of FSU fans down there, man. Coach man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Appreciate y'all
Hey, man, you're more than welcome to come back any day, man. Coach, let everybody know what you got going on and let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
That's right, man. Coach the Fan Addict, man, over on YouTube. It's The Fan Addict, man. We talk college football. Of course, we featured it every Tuesday on a live stream. My boy Jericho will be in the chat, man. It'll be with the former players that played with Coach Kirby Smart, man. We had some guests on here and there, like, Terrence Edwards, and I talked to a couple of them while me and Derrico was at the BMW Players Lounge Saturday. So we got some more goodies coming up for you from some players, man. So yeah, man, you can get us on IG or Twitter at Fan Addict Sports as well. I post a little bit on IG, but I go back and forth with other fan bases on Twitter.
That's what's up, man. Fanatic, man. Coach, listen, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on, man, and we'll definitely have you back here in the future, man, for our college football segments, man. That's what's up, brother.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. So look, fellas, man, Coach I came with us, man. Blessed us talked about some college football, man. So we're gonna finish this show up here. Pressed on time, so we're gonna get into it, man. No delay. Atlanta Falcons, NFL season starts this week on Thursday, man. Opening night matchup. The defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams take on the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night. We back, baby. NFL is back. Like Jessica said, is back. So with that being football is back. With that being said, man, we're going to talk about our Atlanta Falcons before we close out this show. And we didn't get a chance to talk about it a lot. I know we talked about it, fellas, off the air and not actually on the show. From a fan's perspective, we're going to talk about a little bit of what we saw in the preseason. And then we're going to talk again about our expectations now. And somebody drag racing at somebody's house. We're going to talk about a little bit of the expectations now after we saw what we saw in the preseason moving forward, going into this first game against that team from the swamp. And I'm going to get with you, Derek Cole, first, man. And we're going to talk about this. Since you're ready for war, you got your war gear on with these Falcons. Listen, preseason now over, right? So from my perspective, I saw Arthur Smith take a totally different approach to the preseason than he did last year. And I'm kind of happy about it. Last year, I don't think the preseason actually mattered. I think, Coach Smith said, hey, I got veterans in here. They played football for all of their lives. I don't think I need to take a very, very highly vested approach into the preseason. But this was not Arthur Smith this year. Arthur Smith went into preseason this year with the intent of not, number one, winning. Let's be clear about that. He went into this preseason with the intent of winning. With that being said, the intent was to win. The second priority was to evaluate talent and to see who had the winning mentality and who was going to fit the best 53 people to put on this roster, man. Totally different approach to preseason this year. Derek Cole, how do you feel this preseason has prepared them going into the regular season as opposed to last year?
I just want to address something you said, though, first. You use that term talent real loose just then, so I just want to make sure that we bring that up. When you say use the word talent, evaluate talent. Our talent pool is kind of shrunk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Since the days of Debo really being Debo, or when we had Julio, when we had Roddy Whites, the Taylors of the world, the what was a guy named Turner, Matt. All that. So now we got a bunch of guys that, what you said, are back. What you say, back hungry back. What do you say about the college boys?
Belly to back
hungry. You got some belly to back hungry guys because they know.
I don't know what happened to Derek, man. He just dropped off, but we're gonna keep it rolling. Maybe we could bring him back. I don't know. We'll bring him back. Somebody was drag racing over there by his house or something. I don't know what's going on. Banks, I'm gonna kick it over to you and we'll get it back if he jumps back into the show. Banks, you heard everything I gave over to Derek, man. Looking at Arthur Smith, how they prepared for the preseason this year. How do you feel moving forward into the season now, looking at what Arthur Smith did in this preseason going forward?
Well, I think I'm going to kind of finish up what he was saying about he had a lot of hungry guys coming in from belly to back hunger. The philosophy that he was trying to do, I was really impressed with. You got to have the winning culture in your locker room, not just on the scoreboard. Oh, we won. I mean, no one cares about that, but it's just the fact that you finished the game, you are a winner, and you take it to the locker room. And I think it kind of rubbed off from that Detroit game to the Jets game, because to that Jets game, they played well, although they didn't win the game, but it was still a different feeling, a different vibe going into the game than the Jacksonville game. This were the guys that just tried to make the team, and they were even trying to bust some heads. So, I like the approach that Arthur Smith did. It was completely different from last year. Last year was so just so lackadaisical, and it rubbed off into week 1 of last year against the Eagles, and we got run off the field. So I think, this new approach, is something to be more excited about. Let's see what we can do with that.
Absolutely, man. I feel the exact same way. Derrico, I know you had just gotten cut off. You were talking about how this was shaping up, but just to close out really quickly, how do you feel this is going to prepare us moving into week 1 here against New Orleans?
The mentality, like we just got through talking about, sports is such a mental game. And I just feel like the mentality of this team is going to be much different than it was last year. You can even see the one thing I like about what Coach Smith did when he made that adjustment is that he learned from a mistake and said, I need to do something different so I can be more successful. This team, I put the players in a position to be more successful and not hold them back from getting out there and getting that preseason experience. We can't recall the last time the Falcons won a preseason game. Just be honest. People say it's just preseason, but for a team with a fragile mentality of losing, winning at anything, I don't care if it's ping pong in the locker room, you're going to be competitive and you're going to have a different mindset about winning. And I just think that's going to spill over until September 11th when the Swamp Rats either come from Clayton County, Fulton County, Henry County, to come down to the Benz. You know what I'm saying? To get that butt whooped.
Hey man, listen, Derrico. You just said a buck, man. We're gonna keep it pressing, man. But look, I want to interject a little bit, man. Listen, competition is contagious, right? Winning is contagious, right? Let me tell you something, man. You learn early on at a young age, man, that it feels good to win, right? You want to win. There are receptors in your brain, man. There are all kind of things that go off when you win, man. That's what you want to cultivate, Derrico. You want to cultivate a winning mentality in a winning atmosphere, man. That's what you want. You want the guys to go out not only to compete, but you want them to win. You want them to go out and find ways to win, because let's just be real. Some guys will go out there and say, hey, I'm going to play. Hopefully we will win. No, we go out here. We're going to play. We're going to find a way to win. Guess what? Some of these guys might be a little better than this, right? But guess what? We can find a way to beat these guys. Maybe we're more conditioned than these guys. Maybe we're stronger than these guys. Let's find some type of way that we can win. And that's Derrico, like you said. I think Arthur Smith has learned humble enough. Give credit to Arthur Smith for being humble enough to say, hey, I did make a mistake. In a roundabout way, I don't think he came out and said it, and never will. But he was like, hey, you know what? We learned from our mistakes in the past. We're going to move forward and we're going to figure this out and get our team prepared to go into this season this year and be more competitive, more hungry, and to cultivate winning. And that's what we want to make sure these guys understand, is that we're going to find ways to win. Because in these preseason games, let's be real, they came out and they competed and they found ways to win. From the first teamers that came out, you watch Mariota, we watched the first team defense. They said, hey, we're going to hold on. We're going to do what we need to do. We're going to find ways to win, all the way to the guys that were trying to make the team. So I think that was pushed in the locker room and that was pushed in the offseason that, hey, we're going to win. And to be honest with you, I will say this much. I think that is kind of a carryover from last year. Even though we weren't that good last year, we didn't win that many games. But listen, the knock on the Falcons for a long time, fellas, was that we didn't know how to finish. Last year, we saw the Falcons find ways to win games, right? We always say, you got to win by a point. Last year, we won a bunch of games off the foot of Younghoe Koo, but that was a testament to what the coaching staff had instilled, right? Find a way to win, whether it's by 1 point or 40. Of course, we like to see guys win by 40 points or 50, whatever. But you know what? Guess what? At the end of the day, man, you get the W and you keep it moving to the next season. Banks, I want you to speak on that really, really quickly. Take another shot if you want, and then we'll close this thing out about expectations and how we feel moving, going into this game against the Aints.
I'm not giving the Aints no credit. I'm expecting to win. I'm not going to ever give them the benefit of, it could be any other team. It would not be that. I will say expectation wise, the team is young. We know that they had a segment on Pitts and London. They both 21 years old. Like they 21, they just became legal to drink. So I'm like, you know, they kids in my eyes. In my eyes, they're kids playing with grown men, but at the same time, they can be, conditioned to where they going forward, they gonna be just that good. I feel like, Arthur Smith is a good coach and he get these guys prepared to play. If they 21 or 31, it doesn't matter. I feel like going forward, if you put your best foot forward, you can come out with a W. Just see where we can go with that.
Hey man, listen, Kyle Pitts played like a grown man last year. I don't know what you talking about. That 21, that don't fly to me, man. Kyle Pitts played like he played like a grown man last year.
You are correct. He went to the
obviously,
Pro Bowl. He is that guy. He is
obviously
that guy.
Drake London is going to have to prove himself, obviously being on the rookie campaign. But guess what? Drake London, hopefully he understands, the assignment that he is WR1. He's the wide receiver number 1, even though he didn't his preseason came to a close due to injury a little early. But hey, man, I'm looking forward to seeing him fire this up, coming up this Sunday against the Aints, man. A lot of things we can discuss and talk about. Banks and Derrico, I know we wanted to get into a couple other things, man, but we're going to have to close this thing out. Before we close this thing out, though, we're going to revisit something that we talked about on the last episode, and then we'll take it out. I'm going to start here first. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and already claim victory over the Aints this Sunday coming up. Yes, I'm saying it. The Falcons will claim victory over the Aints, man, to start this season off. Because guess what? As a fan, I expect it, and as a fan, that's what I want to see. So, hey, I'm not gonna see it any other way, man. I need to see. Yeah, the Falcons take this from the Aints, starting this season off right. I want to hear nothing else about it. Take a W in Mercedes-Benz. If I had to make a scoring prediction, I'm gonna say 24-17 Falcons. I'll just, take that, be that as it may, take that however you want it. 24-17 Falcons. With that being said, going back and revisiting what we talked about on the last episode, okay? Over under Falcons 5 games. I mean, we looked at the power rankings. Falcons are ranked 31 out of 32 teams. Over and under, I think with Vegas is 5. Under 5 or over 5. I'm still going to take the over. I still have a lot of faith in this team. I mean, with that being said, that's still ugly, right? I mean, 6 games out of 17 is still bad. I'm thinking that this team can pull out at least maybe 6, possibly 7 games. Possibly. I mean, that's still bad, but given the fact of everything that's happened with this team and in the rebuild mode, some people would say, quote unquote, gap year. I think that we can still pull 6 to 7 games out. It's going to be a tough road. I'm not delusional. I'm not crazy. We got a lot of tough teams, man. Defending Super Bowl champions, got a lot of tough teams we're going to have to play this year. I still think that we can win over and reach for the 5 games. With that being said, Derek, I'm going to give it to you. And Banks, I'm going to get you to close us out. Give us your prediction for this weekend and give us your over under 5 prediction.
Oh, I'm absolutely riding till the wheels fall off whenever we play the Aints. I don't care if we had me back there playing quarterback. We're going to win, period. But my prediction that popped in my head while you were talking was 34. I can't see the team regressing too much worse than they did last year. I think we got another year under Arthur Smith's offense. We got another year under Dean Pease defense. And if y'all notice, the playbook has been expanded. So I think that's another element that'll sneak us out maybe 1 or 2 more wins just from the offensive side of the ball alone.
All right, Derrico, and you're going back, I think you sided with me over 5 victories this year, man. Are you sticking with that?
Yeah, I said that. You missed that? You want to sleep on me?
I may have. So you sticking with
My
your
bad.
over 5? Over 5. Banks?
I didn't mean to bore you.
Nah, you all right, brother. Banks, we're going to kick it over to you. Obviously, Banks, you took a different approach saying that this team would not go over 5 games. Obviously, going into this weekend here, a game against a rival here. Have your thoughts changed on the over and under on 5? And what do you see happening this weekend as we take on the Aints?
Well, like I said, when we playing the Aints, I'm expecting the W. I'm not gonna tarry no other way. I'm not giving them no what if this, no. Beat them down. I don't like them, and it is what it is. As for the over, I'm kind of leaning towards more of kind of like what you said about 5 to 6 games. I realized what this team is, and it's going to be a team that's going to fight. And I hope if that's what it is, they're going to fight. That's good enough for me. Let's start there. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we'll surprise somebody and get them slipping, and we'll catch another win. But I think 5 or 6 wins, I think that's a perfect number. As of now, unless I see otherwise, but that's what I'm gonna stick with.
Can I make one comment?
Yes,
Can
sir.
I make one more
Before we
comment?
close this up. Yeah. That's your comment? That snort was a comment?
No, I want y'all to know we've got Chad Johnson's attention now with the Saints and Falcons rivalry. He tweeted yesterday that can all the NFL fans get along like the Falcons and the Saints. So he already knew what he was doing.
First of all, I'm mad at you for putting the S in front of that.
Oh,
second of all, yes.
I said what he said. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. So he knew exactly what he was doing. So as soon as he put that out there, the firestorm hit.
Before I close this out, let me say this much before I close the Leo G show out, man. First of all, let me say this right here, man. I have family and friends from Southeast Louisiana, okay? They can't help it that's where they're from. They can't help that. But let me tell you something, man. This is serious, okay? This week, don't talk to me. Don't call me. If you new to the NFL, yes, it's that serious. We do not want to entertain them, okay? This week. That's it. This is hate week. It's like that for a reason. And we going into this 1:00 Sunday. What's up? I wish I had Nuck If You Buck queued up in my thing, but I don't. But that's how I'm feeling going into this game, man. We are ready. My man PT Cruz is gonna be down there firing us up, ready for that game, fellas. I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday. Football season is back, firing it up against the man. I'm super hyped now. I'm super hyped. Closing this thing out, Banks. I'm gonna hit it to you first. Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook or Baby Banks 80 on the gram or Twitter. And yes, I am getting my people to hit me up finally. And I appreciate you guys for hitting me up on Instagram and Twitter. I'm glad that you're acknowledging that. It means you're watching the show. And I want you guys to hit my man Derico and Leo up as well, because we are in this together, and we appreciate you. And don't forget to subscribe to us so we can keep our show going.
Absolutely, man. Come and subscribe to us as well, man. Derico, let everybody know where they can find you.
Y'all can reach me on the gram at Virgo_Derico, or is it Derico_Virgo? You can catch me on Twitter at VSU96SDD. That Nuck If You Buck got me twisted, doc. And you can reach me on Facebook at Stacy D. Derico.
Hey man, that's what's up,
well
man.
Played, sir. Well played.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mr. Derico, man. You can catch us on the show. Always catch us on Facebook, the Leo G Show. Also, you can catch us on Twitter. That's the Leo G Show, the #1. The Leo G Show, the #1 on Twitter. You can also catch me on my personal. You can also catch me on Southern Set. That's with 2 T's on Twitter, man. If you want to discuss anything all sports related. You know what, man? It's a pleasure, guys. It's been a great show, man. Shout out to my man, Coach I, the Fan Addict. We'll try to get his information posted, man, so you guys can check him out, man. And hopefully we'll be able to bring him back for some more college football segment, man. This has been another edition of Leo G Show, man. It is what it is. We hope to see y'all on next week after we come up off a foot to ass of them damn ain'ts. It's Leo
If
G
y'all
Show,
want
baby.
the best tailgate in Atlanta, come to the corner of Northside Drive and Nelson Street, baby.